here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to Livestream Saturday. I hope you guys have had a great week, and we're going to be starting off with some good news and some bad news, but there's lots of good news because we've just passed 156,000 subscribers on the channel, so a massive thank you to you guys for hitting not only the thumbs up but also the subscribe button. It is much appreciated, and a big shout out to the catch-up crew who got us past our likes target on the stream on Tuesday night. So thank you everybody who watches the live streams after they are live and still clicks that like button. And also a huge shout out to everybody who was in this live stream, the pre-stream likers as well. I'm gonna have to think of a name for them because you guys who have been hitting that thumbs up before the whole live stream starts, I think we're at something like 71 likes. I'm going to try and get this up on screen because I always forget to put this on screen. There we go. It is 72, so we're close. It's 74 now. So we're getting a really early spike of the likes tonight. We're going to be aiming for 255 again because we didn't hit that last time, but maybe we can hit it this time. So as you come through the door, if you can leave a like, it would be much appreciated. Let's get you guys up on screen and see who's in the live chat room. So we have Mario in the house. Everyone say hello to Mario because that's what we do on these live streams when Mario is in the house. And we have Christopher and Les, Donald, Jennifer, Mario again, Linda and Karen and Mark and Patrick, Linda, Lynn, Jennifer again, the crazy Hoovian, and Mario in there again. So Jen as well, Neil moderating. Big shout out to the moderators who do such a great job on these live streams. We have Neil and Laurie and Carla in there somewhere. You can have a look out. You can see those going through, the moderators with the wrench next to their name. Again, they just keep everything going and organized and just in line on this whole live stream. So a massive thank you to you guys for doing that. And it looks like maybe we're at the point where the streaming isn't working particularly well, so fingers crossed it is still working. I just got a circle on one of the screens that I'm looking at, so it might be the case that tonight's live stream isn't very reliable. I'm hoping that it's going to be. We've got 12 days until the new internet is installed and I can start using that for live streaming and just hopefully being a little bit more convenient and reliable. That is what I want, just a bit of reliability. But I've gone for the most reliable country in the UK. That's who I am going to be having internet with in the future. So fingers crossed it is going to be fine and we will be able to continue without any more gremlins in the future. If things do go a bit AWOL with this live stream and I do lose connection, I do have my phone and I got some data on my phone that I can hopefully use. I'm not sure how long it will last because I've never used my phone data before, but I will at least be able to come on for maybe 10 or 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer if the internet as a whole fails on my computer. So there is a little bit of a backup tonight, but if I have to use that backup, it won't last very long, just maybe 20 minutes or half an hour. So let's get also the names of my patrons up on screen because these are the people that make everything possible on the channel. A massive shout out to them as well, and they make everything possible with the analysis videos, the cover videos, and just everything that goes on with the live streams as well. So a massive thank you to these guys whose names go along the bottom of the live stream as always. And if you want to get involved yourselves, head over to patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus, and that's where everybody convenes to help support the channel. But also on there I upload all of the videos that I do every single night, so you get a separate notification through Patreon that I have done a new video. And sometimes YouTube can be a little bit unreliable with the notifications, so if you never want to miss a video, then head over to Patreon, and if you want to support the channel, you can do that there, and it really does help. You guys know who you are. They also do pop up in the super chat window during these live streams as well. I'm just going to get that, hopefully it's worked, the super chat window up on screen because we did have a bit of action in there. I'm going to have to scroll up we had some donations before we even started the live stream, and this is Orlando who donated $2. Orlando, thank you so much for that. He always gets into the super chat window first, and this was at 2:45 yesterday morning, so that must have been within minutes of me setting up the live stream, because I always set it up immediately, or at least I aim to set it up immediately after uploading my analysis video. So it's around 2:30 or 3 in the morning that I get to doing that. So Orlando, thank you for that donation, and the message is, may the force be with you and spike the likes. So thank you for that, Orlando. Great idea to hit that thumbs up. Let's have a plug of the mug, which is always something that happens at the start of these live streams now. And you can pick yourself up a mug in the tray underneath this video, or you can just head over to teespring.com, and all of the merchandise is there, including masks and t-shirts and mugs and all of that kind of stuff. So thank you guys for picking up the merchandise over there, as well as underneath this video in the tray that should be underneath all of the videos, I think. I'm not sure whether it varies from phones to tablets to desktop computers, but at some point you will see, hopefully, the merchandise underneath the videos. But anyway, let me quickly just address a few things. I did say there was good news, and the good news was subscribers, the catch-up crew, you guys before the live streams as well. The weather as well, that is good as well, because it's only 20 degrees now, which is great because it was 37 and 35 over the last 3 or 4 days, which has been a little bit difficult here in the UK. We're just not built for that kind of heat. So now it's down to 20, which is still quite warm, but definitely can be dealt with, and it's a lot easier on the hair. It doesn't get quite as big. So that's also good news. But the bad news, and this might start out as a bit of a rant, because unfortunately the video that I did, my cover video of All Right Now by Free, has been blocked, and that happened a couple of days ago. And it's like all of my cover videos in that I start literally from silence. So everything you can hear is me playing and singing, and I play all of the instruments, and it's my own cover. I'm not using any of the original song, and this is where they have to manually go through people's, I think the problem is, or it's a good problem to have, but the problem is that with a lot of subscribers now, the record labels are looking through my channel and trying to find if I've done a cover of a song, and then they've just blocked it. So the annoying thing is that, yeah, it was just all my own playing, so there's none of the original on my videos. But I also saw, and thank you guys for sending me the links, to Rick Beato, who's another YouTuber, and he breaks down songs and has a great channel. And his song that he did, I can't remember what it was, but he also did a cover where he had guest musicians in, and he did exactly the same thing that I do in terms of playing a cover from the ground up and not using any of the original, but playing it all as a new cover. And he had his video blocked, I think 2 or 3 days ago as well. So it was on my part, Universal, that blocked my video, and I'm not sure whether it's the same record label that did his, but they must be just going out and looking at channels, and blocking just doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because it means now it's blocked worldwide. There might be a younger audience who might never have heard of All Right Now as a song, and there are lots of these reaction channels who are from or made by very young people in their teens and early 20s who haven't heard these songs before. But by blocking somebody's cover of a video, it means that if somebody does like the cover of the song, they'll go and check out the original and buy the original. I don't sell my covers because that's then illegal. You need to get permission to do that. But on YouTube, what normally happens is one of 3 things. Either it gets blocked, which is just the most ridiculous thing ever, or the copyright owner gets all of the ad revenue because they place adverts on the cover. That's normally what happens 99% of the time, or in rare cases, the copyright holders allow you to get half of the revenue from the adverts that are placed on the video. It's not something that happens regularly at all, but it does very occasionally happen. So it is in the record label's interest to allow all of the covers on YouTube because they're going to be getting all the ad revenue for those covers. So it doesn't make any sense. And just to finish off the rant, finally, there are a lot of, or at least some very famous older musicians who seem to really want to enforce the copyright issue on YouTube, and they say the reason that they're doing it is to protect the small independent artist, so that once they've written a song, if it does get played, then they can make money from their music. And I am the relatively small independent artist. I am the person that all these old people are referring to, or old people of the industry, but also the old people in the suits. They're saying that they're doing it for my benefit. And I can tell you straight up now, it is not to my benefit. All of these guys who used to play back in the 60s and the 70s, when they weren't known yet, they played covers of other people's songs that were well known, so people came into the venue and liked the songs because they already knew them, and then they introduced them to their original material. So now those older generations of musicians who are playing in the 60s and the 70s have now used that advantage of playing covers, and back in those days they never asked for permission to play anything because there was no way of actively policing it, because they'd just play it on the night and the crowd would love it. And now they are stopping other artists from doing the same thing they did in order to build their career. So it is all about, unfortunately, greed, but they don't realize that by blocking videos, they are stopping ad revenue. They're stopping themselves making money, as well as making more money from sales of the song that's being covered. And this is something that Rick Beato mentioned in his video, that Phil Collins went to number 2 in the charts 30 or 40 years after the song had been released, because it was the subject of a reaction video that went viral and had like 5 or 6 million views. So that's the proof that you can make money, the record labels can make money from doing absolutely nothing by just allowing people to cover or feature one of their songs. So it is a real shame. Like I said, the All Right Now video that does get requested on this channel, it won't be allowed to be played anymore because it's been blocked. But so far, all of my other covers, the owners of the copyright have just put the adverts on the video, so they're making money from it, and that just seems to me to be the most sensible way forward. Allow independent artists to do covers, which they make money from, but at least it gives people another cover to watch. They might enjoy it and they'll go out and buy the original. And I've had that. People have commented and said that they've done that, so it definitely works. It's just a real shame that it has happened, and that some people in the industry who are a little bit older don't understand how it works, and by blocking things they're just really limiting their own income, as well as unfortunately not allowing it to be a level playing field for every independent artist as they used to be. They did it all the time, and now 40, 50, 60 sometimes years later, they now want to stop every other artist from doing what they benefited from. But anyway, let's get into the super chat window. That is the rant over. But it's amazing also to see the older guys in the industry who agree with me, and they see it sensibly, and they understand that they used to do it. That's how they built their following, so why are you stopping other people from doing it? And the simple answer to that is greed. But like I said, they're not realizing that they are, by being greedy, actually not getting the ad revenue that they could be getting from YouTube and millions of potential musicians covering the songs that they own. Anyway, let's get into the super chat window, and that was the rant. I did say it might turn into a rant over on Patreon on the live stream tonight, but let's jump into the super chat window, and thank you guys for sticking with me so far in the live stream. We're going to be jumping into the next donation, which was from Teachman1955, and this is for $5. Thank you so much for that. The message is, "Hi Phil, thought I'd be early this time. See you at and 00 my time. Eastern Standard Time. Spike the likes. Hope your finger feels better. Rock with some rock horns and some guitars." So thank you so much for that. The finger is, as you can see, still got a black nail, but my finger is feeling better. The only problem is that last night I gave it a bit of a go, and it was John Martin that I did the analysis video on, and when you're watching him play the acoustic guitar, you can't help but want to pick up the guitar and do a little bit of playing yourself. And I did try to do a little pull off with a little finger on a D sus4, and my finger didn't really like me doing that. So I think unfortunately it's still going to take a little bit of time to recover, but the good news is that if I apply pressure on the front of it or the back of it, it seems fine, but any pressure that way, where you push down on a string, it doesn't like that yet. So I'm gonna have to wait a little bit. But the good news is that it's feeling a lot better than it used to, and it's just that direction of pressure that is giving it a problem. But I'm just gonna keep resting it for a few more days, and hopefully we'll be back to getting that little finger on the fretboard soon. But thank you for that donation. Marilyn has donated $5. Thank you for this, Marilyn. And the message is, hi Phil and everyone, I will have to watch this tomorrow. Do you have a favorite song on your album and a favorite cover song with a heart? So thank you for the question, Marilyn. And I've always said that on the album I don't really have a favorite song because I just treat them all the same way. They're just songs that I've written, and I think when I wrote Percy Johnson, that was one of those songs that I instantly liked the sound of and the harmonies in the chorus. So I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I really enjoyed getting that down and recording it. And favorite cover song, I'm not really sure about this. I mean, it might be, and again, it's been blocked worldwide, so you guys can't see it, but probably Hotel California, because I did a full video of that, and in the background was desert, and it's just a cool track to get down as a cover, and also with the lead in there as well, but that can't be seen. But that was a fun cover to get down. So probably, if I'm trying to choose another cover, I don't know, I enjoy the 80s hard rock covers because that's more where I see myself artistically. So anything Dokken, Whitesnake as well, Winger, all of those bands, Bon Jovi as well, I've covered on the channel. So those 80s hard rock type covers are the ones that I lean towards. But thank you, Marilyn, for that donation. And Danny has donated $10. Thank you for that, Danny. The message is, love to hear you sing some country rock. I think you got great voice for it. Thanks as usual from all the truckers in the free word. So thank you so much for that, Danny. And I think that was from all the truckers in the free world. It's just that we got a bit of a repeat on the in the. But anyway, thank you, Danny, for that. And I think the problem with singing country rock is that I don't have that twang to my voice, and I can't do accents, even though when I sing, it sounds probably a bit Americanized because I learned to sing from American DVDs. So it's just something that's bled into my singing because of the way that I've been copying somebody singing and then me trying to get the technique or trying to get the same vowel modification. Whereas if I was intentionally trying to sing with a country twang in my voice, it would sound really bad. And I don't even have to try it to know that it's going to sound really bad. But anyway, Danny, thank you so much for that donation. I'm going to have to scroll down here a bit. Thank you guys so much for all of these donations. We have Deborah, who has donated $5. Thank you for that, Deborah. The message is for the Across the Pond Fund. Thank you for that. And Thomas has done a double donation of $5 with no message, straight up donation. Thank you for that, Thomas. Fred is in the house and has donated $5. Thank you for that, Fred. And the message is, thank you for having such a broad appreciation of all music genres. Good music is good music. So thank you for that. And this is it. Sometimes when I do get the occasional comment that says, oh, I can't believe you're featuring this artist. And I always say, well, why can't you believe that I'm featuring a particular artist? Obviously, it doesn't fall in their genre or to their taste, and they've just totally blanked a particular artist, or they've got their blinkers on, they don't want to see anything else other than what they're into. Whereas I think that you can learn so much from so many different genres that just have a look at everything. And this is the great thing about the suggestions. There are so many suggestions that I don't see coming, and they are genres and singers and artists that I haven't looked at in depth before. So it's always interesting to look at what they've done, and there's always a chance that as an artist yourselves watching, if you do play the guitar or sing, you can pick something up from another artist that isn't in your preferred genre, but they might have something that you can add to your own genre and the way that you play, and just use it as an influence and put your own spin on it. But anyway, thank you so much for that donation, Fred. And Orlando has made it. I've just seen the comment and the question, or the comment underneath the donation. Thank you for this, Orlando. $5 it was, and it says, "Hey Philip, I made it. You did a great analysis of Bobby Darin, and I enjoyed your Lay It on the Line cover rock with some rock horns." So thank you for that, Orlando. And I think Orlando missed it last time on the live stream because he fell asleep. So thank you for that, Orlando, and great to have you with us and awake today. So, or tonight, wherever you are, you're watching this. I know that people tune in from all over the world, and over in the USA especially, we have lots of time zones. So I hope you're having a great day or evening or morning, sometimes in Australia as well, wherever you are. But thank you for that, Orlando. Kathleen has donated $20. Thank you so much for that, Kathleen. The message is, congrats on your new subscribers. So thank you for that, and welcome new subscribers and new live chat members. If you are new to the live chat, just say hello to everyone, introduce yourself, and also, if you do get a chance, hit that thumbs up. We'll see if we can have a spike of the likes at 20 minutes past the hour here in the UK. 20 minutes past midnight, we are up to 162 likes. So we're aiming for 255. We didn't make it last time. We had to ask the catch-up crew to help us out, which they did. But we will see if the live chat room crew can do it tonight. But if you get a chance to hit that thumbs up, we will see where we end up. Thank you so much for that donation, Kathleen. Thomas has donated again and says, well, that's a $5 donation, and says, thank you for that. The message is, you should do a Rob Thomas vocals video if you're into his music. So thank you for that, Thomas. And like I mentioned before, I'm not doing videos just on music that I'm into, because then it'll just be rock and hard rock pretty much every night. So I do like to look at other genres, because I think that all the top artists and bands share so many things in common, and I like to point those out so that it doesn't matter what genre you play, you might be able to start to put these things in your own performance and in your own writing, for example, and hopefully take your music in the right direction. And if you're always borrowing from great artists, that can only be a good thing. That's how every great artist started out. They were watching another artist, like I said about Frank Sinatra and Billie Holiday, and the fact that he watched her singing. He was a massive fan and just really broke down what she did. He analysed her in order to become the artist that he was. And it's interesting, I did get a comment that said to someone, when you're analysing Frank Sinatra, don't analyse, just accept that he was the best singer ever. And that is an opinion that you can have, but as a musician myself, I know that I look at, or I definitely looked at other guitar players in order to try and do what they did and take on board the techniques that they played and put that into my own music. It's the same with every other artist. Even if they're just a singer, they look at other singers. When they were growing up, they had idols that they looked up to, and they tried to figure out what that person was doing, and they try to analyze and copy to a certain extent what that singer's doing, but then they apply their own personality to it. And that's where you get singers like Frank Sinatra. They were inspired by great singers that they saw when they were growing up, and also singers that they would see in the same generation that they were. And they'll think, oh, I like that. I'm going to take a little bit of that technique, that sound, and add it to my own personal performance and recording technique, whatever it may be. But anyway, thank you so much for that donation, Thomas, again. And we have had, I want to make sure that I don't miss any of these donations. We have had Amy, who has donated $4.99. Thank you so much for that. The message is, in the air tonight, may change the blocking with some rock horns. So thank you for that. And Lucy has donated $14.99. Thank you for this, Lucy. The message is, how do you feel, fellow wingers and new wingers? For whatever makes you happy, Phil. Sending good vibes to everyone. Please take care, everyone, with some rock horns, heart, and peace. So thank you for that, Lucy. Everybody, just try and take care. I echo those sentiments from Lucy. And yes, here in the UK, we're still wearing masks in all of the shops, just trying to stay as safe as possible. But thank you, Orlando, again. And There is another $5 donation, and the message is, today's popular acts from the Red Hot Chili Peppers to Lady Gaga started their career doing covers. Covering music is not a new concept. Thank you for that, Orlando. Yes, it does go back to the beginning of time. You had, back in the day, standard traditional songs in different genres. For folk, for example, traditional folk songs. They were the same songs that everybody played, and back in those days they weren't copyright. There wasn't such a thing, because we're talking about going way back here. But they were songs that everybody knew, and they played, and they got together and they jammed to these songs because everybody knew the same songs. There wasn't somebody in a suit that came up and said, right, you're playing that song that everybody knows, I'm going to say that's mine, give me money for that. That's not how music started, and unfortunately that's how music went, but it all started with everybody just playing the same songs and sharing music, which is what it's all about. But yeah, greed and business got in the way, but hopefully things will be a bit more sensible in the future. But thank you so much for that, Orlando. And Nikki has donated $4.99, straight up donation. Thank you for that, Nikki. And we have Kay Kinney, who has donated $4.99. Thank you for this. And the message is, thanks for your in-depth appreciation of all sorts of genres, entertaining and informative. So thank you for the kind words. And Vince is in the house. So thank you for this donation, Vince. It is $10. And the message is, Phil, passing along a question from Mrs. Dith 1943 in the live chat. What's the point of blocking a cover song? Don't you still have to pay the original artist part of the royalties? So, yes, there is no point in blocking a cover. And this is what I said, but to make it a little bit clearer, when I do a cover, when anybody does a cover on YouTube, it gets monetized, and it says on your channel, if you do have a YouTube channel, you'll know what I'm talking about. It says ineligible for monetization, which means that you can't do anything with your video to put adverts on it, because that is a way that people make money on YouTube videos. When they, for example, do a video that is just them and, for example, playing games. Computer games is a good example, because playing a computer game isn't yet copyright. So the users that do that and film themselves playing a computer game, there's no music in there that's copyright, so it's eligible for monetization. So they can monetize that, and they get paid every time somebody watches an advert. Whereas when you do a cover of somebody's song, or in my case with my analysis videos, I feature the audio from the live performance that is registered with the record company. So every video that I do, analysis video wise, is ineligible for monetization, because the adverts that are placed on there by the record label or the publishing company that own whatever I'm analyzing. So if you do an outright block, that means that the record label don't make any money from the ad revenue, and nobody gets to see that video. So effectively, it means that they could have 1 million people covering the song, and they could have 1 million videos making ad revenue for them, but rather than getting that, they've blocked 1 million videos and they get nothing. So it doesn't make sense. Let me just read the question to make sure I got it correct in terms of what you are aiming at. What's the point of blocking a cover song? The answer to that is there's no point. It just doesn't make sense. Don't you still have to pay the original artist, or don't you still have to pay the original artist part of the royalties? So what happens here is, when it gets blocked, there's no point. The artist won't get anything, the record label won't get anything. If I do a cover video and the publishing company or the record company, whoever owns the copyright, puts adverts on it, they now earn money from my video, and depending on the contract that the artist has with the publishing company or the record company, they will make their percentage of that ad revenue. Unfortunately, with signed artists, that usually isn't a lot. And this is where I was talking to Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush, and his songs, he has to pay to play his own songs. And what he has to pay to play his own songs, when it then gets monetized, he makes less than that with the ad revenue, because of the agreement that the contract was made years ago. We're talking tens of years. he gets paid a minimal amount because he's not getting a big percentage. Sometimes it can be as low as 10% of a royalty, and the record company will take 90%. So it means, say for example, I'm going to make it really easy, there's £10 or $10 that you make in ad revenue, and that will go to the publishing company or the record company, and then they'll pay the artist $1. And that's how it trickles through. But it is always the publishing company, the record company, that's going to be making the most money. But in this case, they're blocking the video straight out, so it means they get 0 of 0. It doesn't make sense. But anyway, thank you so much for that question. And we're also going to be looking at, I just want to make sure that I got everything in there. So thank you, by the way, to Vince and Mrs. Death 1943 for that. Ken has donated $5. Thank you so much for that. Oh, and my screen's jumping all over the place. The message is, didn't Elvis Presley make millions of dollars singing cover songs? Yes, that is it. Exactly. So there is the principle that someone as huge as Elvis, he never wrote or recorded an original song. He never recorded an original song or released one. They were all covers. So that was the way to get attention back in the day. It just so happened that Elvis could sing a cover like nobody else and put a totally different spin on it with his vocal, and that was his whole career, just singing songs that other people had written. So yeah, imagine Elvis now in 2020 trying to sing. If he didn't write songs, he wouldn't have a career, and there wouldn't be any way of him making a career out of what he could do, putting a spin, and such a great spin, on other people's songs. He literally would be, well, just hitting his head against a brick wall, because he'd do a cover, it'll get blocked, nobody will see it. He'd do another cover, it'll get blocked, nobody will see it. So yeah, that is the senselessness of the industry nowadays. But thank you, Ken, for pointing that out as well. A good example. And we have another $10 donation from Vince, and this is the question, Phil. Here's another question from the live chat. Jennifer Sun said, "Hi Vince, can you ask, will there be a sequel to Percy Johnson? Want to know how it comes out." So thank you for that. And I don't know, possibly it's, well, I don't know. It might be nice just to leave it. Or there could be a movie made, and then we'll see. If you ever have a successful movie, it seems like they always do a sequel. So then it will be inevitable that there will be a follow-up to it. But thank you so much for that, Vince, and also Jennifer for the donation or the question, and Vince doing the donation to get the question over. But thank you as well. Mary has donated $5. Thank you so much for this. And the message is, "Hi Phil, we read a lot about the old rockers doing studio work. Is music production work these days interesting? Does it pay? Did you ever consider?" So thank you for that, Mary. And I did a little bit of session work for dance music, believe it or not. Just getting down riffs and also doing vocals, something that I mentioned in a video recently where it was Lady Gaga who was recording songs but also putting down guide vocals, and that's when Akon heard her guide vocal and said, "I'm going to sign this woman, and you as a record label should sign this woman as well because of her vocal quality." And this is what happens. You record. In my case, I did guitar parts and vocals for demos that then went to record labels for the artist to hear, and then they recorded their vocal to that demo. But it was dance music, so it wasn't really something that I kept tabs on because I'm not really into dance music, but I was asked to do that, so I said fair enough. And the pay isn't too bad. It might be maybe £200 to £300 per demo, but the problem is that when you enter the world of session work, everyone's trying to get session work, and that might be their main income. They just do session work. So it is the rat race of trying to get heard or trying to get hired by a studio in order to do that. Fortunately, I'm an artist in my own right, writing my own songs, having an album, selling that, selling merchandise and doing all those other things. So I'm not a session person. So it's just something that I have done in the past, but it's never been my aim to be a session musician. I always aim to be an original musician, and that's what I did. So yes, thank you so much for that, Mary, for the donation. And Nathaniel has donated $5 as well. Thank you so much for that, Nathaniel. And Jen has donated $5. And the message is, what song or songs are you burnt out on listening to? And I don't think I really burn out on any songs in particular. I know that I do sometimes listen to the same song over and over and over and over again, and if I've done an analysis on a song that I do like, then I'll be humming that for probably 3 or 4 days, even though I analyse another song the next night. It's just something that sticks in my head. So I don't really burn myself out on songs. I just always analyze them and think about other parts of the song, either listening to the bass or the drums or the guitar work or the vocals or the harmonies. There's always something else that you can focus on. So thank you for that. Jen and Orlando has donated $5. Thank you so much for that. The message is Steve Perry was inspired by Sam Cooke to start singing. They sung in 2 totally different genres and had completely different styles. And that is true as well. And this is it. Again, something, not that I want to name drop, but it's something that myself and Neil Sean have talked about on Twitter before, because Neil has messaged me on Twitter before and we spoke about the inspiration coming from Sam, and it's something that really got Steve into singing and inspired him so much as well. So yes, thank you for that, Orlando. And Kay has donated $5. Thank you for this, Kay. The message is, how difficult is it for one singer to match the vocal tone of another singer? This is something that I think personally is very difficult to do with a safe vocal technique, because a lot of people can sound like other singers, but if you were then asking them to sing like that singer to get the same tone night after night on a tour, year after year, it might be the case that they are manipulating their voice in a bad technical way that might not be safe for their vocal cords to do night after night, but they might sound like them on maybe one song or a couple of songs and they can get it exactly on. There might be some people that do manipulate their vocals and can somehow imitate other singers, and to have that kind of control is rare, but I have heard it from actually comedians who do great impressions, and that's what impressions are as well. It's being able to manipulate the tone, the placement of the voice, the resonance, in order to mimic somebody else's voice. It is very clever. It's rare to be able to do that, but there are some people that can. But it is very difficult if you haven't got the natural ability for getting different or hitting different resonant spaces and getting different tonal qualities to your voice. If you don't have a natural propensity for it, then it is very difficult. And I always say, if you are learning to sing, just sing with your own tone, whatever is the easiest that you find technique wise, exercise wise, when you are practicing singing, stick to that and build up your natural tone. And then if you want to try and edit it a little bit, then you can do from a safe place to begin with, rather than going straight into trying to, for example, sing with rasp, which is a bit dangerous if you haven't already worked at your voice and just sussed out where your voice naturally sits. But thank you for that, Kay. Ray has donated to $200. Thank you so much for that, Ray. And I was going to say it's another crazy donation, but it is massively appreciated. Thank you for this. The message is, thank you for covering Lady Gaga in a kind and open-hearted way. I have loved her artistry for a long time. Behind all the glam, she is an amazing pianist, singer, songwriter, and global citizen. So thank you for that, Ray. And yes, this is the thing that once people understand the modern day industry, you understand that to get any kind of coverage nowadays, it doesn't matter how talented you are. It doesn't matter how many instruments you can play. You have to do something to get onto the main screen or to get into the mainstream and be shown on screen in videos, for example, on MTV. You have to be outrageous, and that is something that Lady Gaga had to do. And then, sure enough, it was 7 years after her break onto the scene that she did that performance at the Oscars, and you can get an appreciation of her artistry, her talent, but also just ability vocally in order just to take on that song in the first place, and also her acting ability. So you can see there is definitely a credible artist that just had to do something in order to get herself to that stage 7 years later, where people can now understand, hopefully, that you just have to jump through that hoop, unfortunately, in the mainstream. But thank you for that, Ray. And Mary has donated $5. Thank you so much for this. And the message is, Phil, do you like older hi-fi or stereo vinyl, a la what Neil Young keeps talking about? Do you think it is better sound for some music? And this is something that when I was young, we had vinyl, and that was all we had in the house. We actually did have a tape deck. So we had the vinyl on top and we had the tape deck. So With the turntable, obviously, it was something that at a young age I wasn't allowed to use, but then I was eventually trusted with, and then I got my own turntable. So once I got used to the records, I think tape then had a similar kind of sound, obviously not quite as crackly, but depending on how old your turntable was in your needle. But anyway, so the tape quality wasn't a massive step up, but then going to digital, that then was a massive step up. And I wouldn't say that I would lean towards the vinyl sound over the digital sound. I just pretty much just treat it all equally, but there is a warmth to vinyl that I think you can't beat. Just the sound of a vinyl when you put it on and all the crackles that you get and you're waiting for it to kick in. And that's something that definitely reminds me of my young childhood. But relating it to digital, I'm not one of these people that will say, right, I want to go analog and I want to just produce a record. I did my album digitally and I didn't really have a problem with that. I just mixed it how I wanted to for my own taste, for my own ears. So thank you for that, Mary. And Karen has donated $4.99. Thank you for this, Karen. And the message is, hi Phil, I appreciate your open-minded approach in your music analysis videos. I learn new things from you every time. Thanks for what you do, Karen. And thank you for that donation, Karen, and the kind words. And no problem. So we're up to 213 likes. And how is it 20-1 already? This is how this happens, unfortunately. But the good thing is we haven't had any gremlins yet. Thank you guys for all of the donations. I think it's just taken so long to get through them. Terry has just popped in with a $5 donation. Thank you for this, Terry. And we are going to be jumping into the first video of the night. I'm just checking that Terry's donation, I don't know why I said it like that, has just come in. It is $5, but without a message, and I don't think that the screen's being cut off. So thank you, Terry, for that. And if there is a message underneath that, maybe we will see it a little bit later on. But let's jump into the first video of the night, and this is where the live streams, if I was just talking to you guys, I would make money from the live streams, but because I play my own music, that's when I get the royalty from playing my own music through TuneCore. So it is a bit of a funny setup, but I would rather be playing my own music on these live streams and showing you guys a cover as well. Sometimes because I do covers on these live streams, they get monetized because of the cover, and then the publishing company make money from my live streams because of the cover, but I'm not really too bothered about that. So I'd rather make these enjoyable and have a little bit of diversity with the cover in the live streams as well. So it's all good. We're going to be jumping into my lyric video of Paris Nord. Thank you guys for responding to my request for requests over on Patreon. And a lot of people did request this, and I'm just going to have a look at the names because I had to write them down. Kevin, Orlando, Lynn, Marilyn, Deborah, and Amy. Thank you guys so much for answering that request, but also for requesting this Paris Nord, the lyric video version. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you guys after. Rock! And there we have it. That was my song called Paris Nord. I hope you guys liked that one. And you can pick that up over at wingsofpegasus.com/store. And that is on the album Persistence. If you want to get that, you can grab that over there as well. So, we did have a little bit of action in the Super Chat window while that was playing. And by the way, we're up to 230 likes, it looks like, at the moment. So, we're looking for 25 more people in that live chat room. So we're looking out for the live chat room squad. If there is anybody in there that hasn't yet hit that thumbs up, it would be much appreciated if you can do. It does help the channel to get out there a little bit more, the analysis videos as well as these live streams. So 232 and 233. Thank you to those people who just hit that thumbs up, and all of you who have hit it so far. Maybe we won't need the catch-up squad or the catch-up crew this time, but if you guys are watching this in the future, you can still hit that thumbs up because it really does help everything to move along. And I think it just increases the chances of the live streams as well being suggested so that other people can check them out and watch them and join in. Maybe join us for the next live stream, which will be on Tuesday night at the same time. As always, Tuesday nights, Saturday nights, same time as always. But anyway, thank you to Linda, who has donated $5, and the message is, "Hi Phil, you've told us before who influenced you on guitar. Are there any artists who have influenced you vocally?" So vocally, this is something that I started to sing, or at least I tried to learn to sing, when I auditioned singers, and me and the other guitarists in the band were auditioning singers for a year, and we couldn't find anyone, and the people that were turning up doing singing or attempting to sing the songs, they just weren't very good, even though they were calling themselves singers and they didn't play an instrument. And I thought, if I just worked at it myself, I could probably eventually, I know that, playing guitar, I couldn't play guitar, I was rubbish. I didn't know how to do anything, and I spent a lot of time on it, and then I became better at it. So I thought, just apply the same thing to vocals. That's exactly what I did. I started practicing vocals a lot alongside my guitar practice, and then just really started to focus on playing a little bit every day, but then the majority would be singing practice. So I did that. So in terms of being inspired by a singer, the guitar is what I always wanted to do. So I was inspired by different guitarists, but listening to a vocal, I'd never thought, oh, I really want to sing like that person. So they've inspired me to start singing, because if I had that, I probably would have started when I was very young, at the same time, probably age 12 when I started picking up the guitar. I would have been inspired by a vocal sound, whereas I wasn't. So it means that when I was 27 or 28, I just tried to emulate the singers that were part of the genre that I was playing. So it would be guys like Bon Jovi, and Kip Winger is one of those who I've seen live a lot, and I'd say that his voice there's a lot of rasp on the sound, but I really liked his voice. But I knew that I'd never be able to copy it, because we have two totally different voices, and I am of the opinion that if you are learning to sing, and this was always my approach, that I wanted to sing like myself, however my natural tone is, that will make me sound unique when I sing. So for example, on that last song, Paris Nord, hopefully when people listen to that, they don't think, oh, this is that singer, and it's not that singer, because no, it's me, but I sound exactly like that other person. I'm hoping that there is a unique vocal sound to it, because I'm not trying to sound like anybody. I'm obviously practicing, I'm trying to hit pitches, I'm applying techniques that I have learned how to apply through a lot of practice, but it's not something that I'm pretending to try and sing a particular way. I'm just using the voice that I've got and that I've built up. So that was always my approach. But yeah, it's something that David Coverdale as well, he had just an immense voice and still has an immense voice, a lot of rasp again. So I think the songs and the artists that I listen to in that hard rock genre have a lot of rasp on their sound, whereas I don't really have that. It's something that I would prefer to have naturally. I don't want to force a raspy sound, even though when I am warmed up, I can start to lean into my chest voice a little bit more, and I know that I can get a bit of rasp, but I tend to more sing in a safe way rather than trying to sing in a raspy way that might be a little bit unsafe. But yes, that is a long answer to the question. But thank you, Linda, for that donation and the question. And Orlando has donated $5. Thank you so much for this, Orlando. The message is, again, another donation. I'm not sure how many Orlando's done, but they are much appreciated. Paris Nord is my all-time favourite of yours. Thank you. I must go, but we'll catch the replay. Take care, everyone. Rock with lots of rock horns. So thank you for tuning in tonight, Orlando, and for the requests and the donations as well. And I'll catch you at the next live stream, I'm sure. But also, Mario is in the house and has donated $200. Thank you so much for that, Orlando previously, and Mario now for the crazy donation. And I'm not sure whether we can see Orlando. I don't know why I'm saying Orlando's guitars. Guys, just don't send me more guitars. I've got enough as it is. Mario's guitar. I'm going to see if it is behind me. The gem, which you might be able to see if I point past the PRS. There it is. So thank you so much for that, Mario, for sending me. Also, the Maton is in there somewhere. I don't think we can see that on the screen, but Mario has sent me 2 guitars and as well as the donations. Thank you so much for this. This is why whenever Mario is in the house, we say a massive hello to Mario. And I can just see, it looks like we've just hit 250 likes on the screen, so we're down to the last 5. 255 is what we're looking for, or at least that's what I set as the target on the live chat room crew here, or the live chat room squad, whatever you want to call it, absolutely fine. But we are looking for 5 more people. If you want to hit that thumbs up, that would be much appreciated. But thank you, Mario, for that donation. And another one has just come in from Joan, who has donated $49.99. Thank you so much for this, Joan. And the message is, for a future pizza party when you get your new internet provider. So thank you for that, Joan. And that is some breaking news. I did have a pizza a few days ago, and it was from a place that have stopped doing pizza during the whole COVID lockdown and quarantine, but they started up again, opened, and I managed to get one of those delivered. So that was great, an extra little pizza. And I say little pizza because it isn't one of these huge ones, it's just a nice portion, and it suits me absolutely fine, and it's very good. And it had spinach on it, which was something that I figured, well, it's then kind of healthy if it's got spinach on it. So that was my excuse for getting pizza. But anyway, thank you, Joan, for that. I will certainly be celebrating when I get some new internet. 12 days to go. I'll be counting down the days before it is connected, and then I can just go forward. The great thing about the new provider is that they guarantee you an internet speed, and if it falls below that, then you can stop your contract with them. And there's no clause that means you can't get out of it, which is something that Virgin Media do. Once you're in the contract, you are just not allowed to leave, whereas you are guaranteed a speed with this new company, and they have been voted the best company over the last 7 years. So it's hopefully, fingers crossed, going to be a lot better in the future. But thank you so much, Joan, for that donation. And I'm just going to scroll down to make sure that it's just that and I haven't missed any. So thank you, Joan and Mario and Orlando, those last few donations. We are going to be jumping into the next video of the night. It's almost 1 a.m. I'm not sure how many videos we're going to be able to get through, but we will get through this cover video. And it is a bit of classic Dokken here. Don Dokken, again, another voice, hard rock voice that I listened to and wasn't really inspired to sing by, but it's something that I love about Don Dokken's voice is how he sings with his own tone. He's not trying to sing like anybody else, and everybody knows, especially if you have listened to Dokken, you just know that vocal tone anywhere. It just stands out. But anyway, we are going to be getting into Just Got Lucky, and again, requested over on Patreon. Thank you guys for this. And this was Deborah, Amy, Joan, and Kevin. So a lot of requests for a bit of Dokken tonight. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you guys after. Rock! Just Got Lucky by Dokken. Let's do this. Rock!
Imagination gets the best of me. I'm looking everywhere, still I see your face. I never forget you, you put me in my place. You were just using someone, and I was the one. She said you just got lucky. I believed your dirty lies. You just got lucky. I've been hypnotized. She said you just got lucky. I believed your dirty lies. You just got lucky. You're a devil in disguise. Now that it's over and I've seen right through, not looking back again, how starting you was making love to you, such wasted time. Maybe I love you still, I'll get you off my mind. You were just using someone, and I was the one. She said you just got lucky. I believed your dirty lies. You just got lucky. I've been hypnotized. She said you just got lucky. I was taken by surprise. You just got lucky. You're a devil in disguise.
And there we have it. That was my cover of the Dokken classic, Just Got Lucky. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. And we get a little bit of George there in the solo as well. And this is something George Lynch, by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about. His solos, just as a guitar player as well, he was so unique. When you put George and Don together, that is why he just got such a great sound. And so unique as well. I think maybe there are a few Dokken fans in the live chat room, but thank you guys so much for requesting that song over on Patreon and just giving me things to play in this live stream. But we are going to get the super chat window up on screen because we have a couple that have jumped in there, so thank you guys so much for that. And it is Kay who has donated $5. Thank you so much. The message is, how did Janis Joplin keep from damaging her voice? And this is what you'll find, is that some singers naturally have rasp, so that when they want to sing cleanly, they don't ever get super clean. There's still a tiny little bit of rasp on their soft sound. So then when they start leaning into their vocal cords and really bring them together and really hit their chest voice, they naturally have rasp. And this is something that Janis definitely had. She had a natural rasp to her voice that was actually almost like 70 or 80% rasp and then 20% note. There was so much on there, but it was natural. There's no way that she was forcing that. because you wouldn't be able to do that night after night, show after show, and be so consistent with it as she was. So some people have a natural rasp, some people have natural clarity, some people sit right between the two. It just depends what you find your voice doing when you start training it, and once you start leaning into your chest voice, you'll start to hear whether it starts to gain a little bit of rasp or whether it maintains a clean sound. Of course, when you're talking about classical singing, that is all about clean, that you're trying to get as clean a tone and note as possible, and that's what they all work their way towards. And this is something that, trying to sing classical music with a rasp, it pretty much isn't going to work. You might be able to get away with a hint of it in there, especially if you're starting to hit high Cs, for example. The male tenor high C is right up there, so it occasionally can have a little bit of rasp in there, but for the whole time you're listening to classical music, it's going to be a clean tone that the classical singers are hitting. And obviously you can work at your vocal if you want to start putting a bit of rasp on there, but you have to be doing it in a safe way. But Janice was just one of those 1 in a million singers that had a natural rasp that if you try to imitate it, you would hurt your voice. But she wasn't doing that. She wasn't imitating anybody else. She was just singing her own way, which is just what I suggest everybody does. But thank you so much for that, Kay. And Linda has donated $5. Again, thank you for this, Linda. And the message is, here's a silly non-music question. Because it's 40 degrees Celsius here in California, do you still drink hot tea at tea time when it's this hot outside? So, I think a lot of people drink iced tea and also iced coffee. I still drink hot tea. So, it's just something that I do. What I tend to do is just wait for it to cool down. I don't drink it, obviously, when it's cold. Weather-wise, I drink it when it's hot to warm me up. But when it's too hot outside, and especially inside with the carpets, like I said, our houses are built to keep warm in. When it's really warm inside, I make a cup of tea and wait for it to cool down, and then I'll drink it when it's at medium temperature. So I still drink tea. That's something that I have every day. I have 1 cup of standard tea, and I think it's probably called black tea if you are going to look for it in a shop. We have different makes here, so you get like PG Tips, lots of different makes, and Yorkshire tea as well. And those are kinds of black tea, but we know them here as brands because we drink so much tea. So anyway, I have 1 of those. I also have 1 cup of Earl Grey, and then I have 1 coffee a day, and that's my 3 caffeine fixes. I know that there's technically more in tea than coffee, but it depends how much tea you drink. I don't drink a lot of tea, and I don't drink a lot of coffee, just 1 coffee a day. And I think maybe because I drink a lot of water, that helps as well, so my teeth don't get stained and all that kind of stuff. And I think if I drank a lot more coffee, maybe my teeth would get stained, but I always drink water. I have about 1.5 litres to 2 litres of water a day. I've always got a bottle on me, and here's a proof. Here's a little bit of proof for you, and how much is in this. This is 1.35 litres, and that's already been drunk today, and this is the second refill. So I do drink a lot of water a day, and I figure that if our bodies are made up of about 60% water, then making sure it's got 60% of what it needs is probably a good idea. And also, having studied sport and exercise science, I know that just a 2% rate of dehydration can affect performance in a sporting sense massively. So just keep yourself hydrated. That is my top tip. And I'm always drinking water, but yeah, so that's something that I would suggest. If you don't drink a lot of water, it's probably something that you can start to do, and you'll start to feel a little bit better in yourself. But anyway, thank you, Linda, so much for that question. We are going to be calling it to a close pretty soon. I'm going to try and fit in 1 more video because we had another video or 2 requested over on Patreon. This is going to be Running Blind, the lyric video version of it, and this was requested by Orlando, Lynn, and Joan over on Patreon. Just before we do jump into it, Susan has just donated $9.99. Thank you for that, Susan. The message is, have a pot of tea from this California fan. So thank you for that. Now, a pot of tea, that would be a lot of tea. That would be more than 1 cup. What I do is just put a tea bag in the cup. And I think that's what most people do here in the UK. When you've well, when you're having a proper cup of tea for more than one person, then you put it in a pot and you let it stew for maybe 5 minutes. And then you put the milk in your cup first and then you pour in the tea. Whereas I just fill up first I put in the tea bag, fill up with hot water, and then add milk. And I don't add too much milk, just a little bit, so I have my tea quite strong. But anyway, thank you so much for that, Susan. And just quickly, Deborah has jumped into the live chat, the super chat window as well. Thank you for that, Deborah. And it's a $14.99 donation. And the message is, hi Phil, a technical question. Why do you straighten your non-picking fingers on your right hand when picking or strumming? I see other guitarists curl their fingers under. So thank you for this, Deborah, and this is quite a simple answer. When you've got your fingers extended, it means that you get all of this part of your palm that you can rest on the strings. So it means that when you're playing lead guitar, you can keep, if I'm, for example, on the high E string, which is the thinnest string, the furthest one away from me, I can rest all of my palm and even my little finger if I want to, because I've got all of that I can rest on the strings. I can rest all of that on the low E, A, D, G, and B string even, to keep them all quiet while I'm playing the high E string, and I can move it up and down the strings as required, whichever strings I want to keep quiet. When you curl your fingers round, sometimes you can not mute the strings. It's down to personal preference. What you'll find is that when people are alternate picking, sometimes, I think I do this, I go to a more curled up shape, because it's almost like you've got more tension between your thumb and your first finger when you're alternate picking, because you don't want the pick to move as much. So you get a solid grip on it, your hand will curl around, and then you'll get into the picking action, the alternate picking. I think maybe if you were to rewind and watch the video that I've just done, my dock and cover, you'll see that when I'm doing alternate picking, my hand isn't straight, it's now curled up, because I want a contracted hand. I want it to be solid. I don't want that pick to move as much, because now I'm playing with speed. And when you get good at muting strings, you can start to mute the lower strings with the fleshy part of the lower part of your hand, and then use your left hand to rest on the previous string. Say, for example, if I'm playing the B string, I rest on the G while playing that B, and that'll keep it quiet. So you can start to use your left hand to mute strings as well. But I hope that makes sense. The reason that it's down like that is to allow me to mute as many strings as I want, and then I can just use that going up and down the strings. And if I move it down, I'm going to be muting more strings. If I move it up, I'm going to be muting less strings. But anyway, thank you for that question, Deborah. And we are going to jump into this video, the final video of the night. It's going to be my lyric video for Running Blind. I hope you guys enjoyed this. As I said before, it was requested over on Patreon, and I'll see you guys after this. Rock.
With a sense of decency,
And there we have it. That was my song called Running Blind. And that's also available at wingsofpegasus.com/store if you want to download that one, because that was a separate single outside of the album. So you can get the album or get that single if you want to. So thank you guys for joining me tonight. I think we're going to have to call this to a close because it's 1:15 here, and so far we've got away with the gremlins, or should I say the lack of gremlins. So we've done well, and thank you guys for joining me tonight on this live stream. I thought that because my internet actually cut out about half an hour or maybe an hour before the live stream, that it wasn't going to happen, which is always a bit depressing, but we did get there, and it looks like 290 likes on the screen, which is a crazy total. Thank you guys so much for reaching the target of 255, because that's what we set at the beginning of the live stream. So the live chat room tonight, that live chat room crew or squad, maybe the catch-up crew is a little bit better for the catch-up crew, and then we have the live chat room squad, or just the live chat squad, who have really done an amazing job tonight, getting up to 292 likes. Thank you guys so much for hitting that thumbs up. And as I said earlier, if you are part of the catch-up crew and you've got a like that you can give, if you can give it a thumbs up as well, that would be massively appreciated. It really does help this channel to grow, and we are at 156,000 subscribers now. So thank you everyone for hitting the thumbs up, but also for subscribing to the channel and also hitting that little notification bell, because I think that does help with just getting the videos out there as well when people click the bell to be notified. So we're going to be calling this to a close now, and it looks like we're going to have to end with 5 to go until 300 likes. But again, this is something that maybe the catch-up crew can get us to 300. It looks like 4 are required to get up to 300 likes, and this is going to be maybe a little bit hit and miss if we're going to make it or not on this live stream. Maybe I should try and drag out the live stream for a little bit longer to see if we can find 2 more people. It's a race against time to see if we can get 2 people in the live chat room. We're all just hoping, and there we have it, 300 likes, which is a crazy amount of likes for the live stream. Thank you everyone for collectively using that thumbs up and for getting over 300 likes now on the live stream. That is just crazy. And also to think that everyone can only do 1 like. So there's been over 300 people that have hit that thumbs up for tonight's live stream. So thank you everyone for tuning in and for hitting that thumbs up as well. Obviously this is a crazy total that I'm not expecting to get every time, but it's fantastic when we do get a huge like total. So a massive thank you everyone. It's 3:03 now. A massive thank you to everyone for joining me tonight, also just for watching the analysis videos and the cover videos when they're not blocked, but the cover videos, and just every live stream as well for joining me. And it's great to interact with you guys on a live setting because it's such an organic way of communicating with you. Even though I know that in the comment section you guys comment and I also reply on there when I can, but because of the amount of subscribers there are so many comments across all of the videos that I can't reply to everybody, whereas in the live chat room tonight in the super chat I can talk to you guys one-on-one and see who's in the house as well. And let's just give a final shout out to you guys in the live chat room, see who's still in there. We have Susan going through, and Linda, Neil, Michelle, Brandon, Michael, Laurie, Carla, Teresa, Alexi, and Louis, and Lewis, Charles, Teresa again, Eric, and Jeff in Lower Alabama. I almost said there. We got Jeff in Lower Alabama in the house. So Ray's still in there as well. Deborah, Patrick, and Elatan. Thank you so much for joining me. Mary, Michelle, Lucy still in there as well, and Rob and Tara. Thank you guys. I will see you guys